Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and that your weeks are going wonderfully. I am here with the final card of the Scoia'tael part of the next Gwent expansion, and it is by far my favorite card so far without a doubt. It's a character you might remember from the Witcher series, season number 1. His name is Tork, he's a horned fella, and he helped capture Geralt and Dandelion before bringing him back to the elves. But anyway, before I begin, some news. We just got an announcement that the TwitchCon event is taking place next year in Amsterdam. Now, this is awesome news, and of course I did dress accordingly, but I did sign up for the 2020 one and it got cancelled because of COVID. I've never went to a TwitchCon ever, and it sounds like an awesome experience. This is only happening in July of 2022. Again, it's going to be in Amsterdam. I'm 100% going, and if any of you decide to go, I'd love to meet some of you. Just a heads up if you are interested in something like that. But yeah, it's normally a 2-day event, and I've never been to one. I have been to Amsterdam, and it's a lot of fun, but let me show you how Tork works. Okay, so remember when I was telling you about a potential new hand buff archetype in Scoia'tael? Well, this is what I was referring to. This is the last card we need to complete a potential hand buff deck, one that goes all out. Tork makes this a viable option. So what he does is, he begins in your starting hand if you have Devotion. He always begins in your starting hand, just like Sunset Wanderers, but he doesn't necessarily begin on the left side of your hand, he can begin in any part of it. Either way, you're guaranteed to draw Tork if you have Devotion, which means that you only have Scoia'tael cards in your deck. You don't have any neutral cards. Okay, so whenever this card is boosted in your hand, it boosts a random different unit in your hand by the same amount. So this doubles your boosts, which is absolutely insane, meaning every time any card boosts Tork, he'll boost a random card as well by the same amount. So let's say you have Dunka on the board. Every time she hits Tork, Tork will also boost another card in your hand. So Dunka has the potential to play for 2 points a turn. Of course, if she hits Tork, that is. Then we have cards like Sirsa, which damages an enemy unit by 2, but with a death blow, it boosts a unit in your hand by 2. So if Sirsa boosts Tork, you'll have a card that boosts by 2 points. So it has so much potential. I mean, the amount of decks you can build around this, with Hawkers, Smugglers, boosting a random allied unit every turn. You also have other insane cards that end up boosting, and that can target specific units while you're at it. One of these being Ithleen. She boosts a Scoia'tael unit in your hand by 4. So you can pick if you want to boost Tork by 4 points, and he'll then boost a different card by 4 points as well, meaning Ithleen plays for 6 points as a unit, 4 points on Tork, and 4 points on a different card, which is 14 points. I mean, it's absolutely insane how Tork can just manipulate the amount of boosts you get in your deck. Of course, you're going to want to play something like Invigorate if you're going to go all out. So you're going to want to play a leader like Invigorate, which allows you to boost 5 units in your hand by 1, and you can do this twice. So obviously you're going to pick Tork every single time, and Tork will allow you to boost 6 units instead of just 5. So a lot of potential ways to go around this, and I'm just so excited to see what people are going to come up with on day 1. And here's just another example of how everything is coming together. So now we understand why Bountiful Harvest works the way it does. Not only can you create an elf, but it allows you to choose which card in your hand you want to boost. So if Tork is on the leftmost side of your hand or the rightmost side of your hand, you can manipulate Bountiful Harvest to boost Tork and therefore boost another card by 2 as well. So Bountiful Harvest then ends up giving 4 points of hand boost and playing an elf. So suddenly Bountiful Harvest looks like a 5 out of 5 in my books. Tork, I think, is 6 out of 5. I give Tork 6 out of 5. So far it's my highest rating. I don't think it goes by the rules of giving something out of 5, but I'm sticking with my 6 for sure. So we have Bountiful Harvest, which is just very nice. And then the other cards we have in this expansion, of course, is Watcher of the Valley, which will give an enemy unit bleeding equal to the amount of boosts on this card. If it's bonded, it will damage instead. So if Tork ends up being viable and Tork gets a boost, Watcher of the Valley could potentially also get a boost. And it just makes all of our hand buff cards we've seen up until now much more viable. Another example of this will of course be Filavandrel. Now Filavandrel is of course one of the cards that I still don't think it's worth including in your deck. I think it's too costly for what it does, but it will create and play a Scoia'tael special card with a provision cost equal to its power. So again, with Tork, you get an extra chance of boosting these cards, because cards like Dunka or the Hawker Smuggler, although they boost cards at random, Tork makes your chances just a bit better that it will boost cards like Filavandrel, because even if it misses Filavandrel, Tork ends up taking one more space in your hand, and if it hits Tork, it could hit Filavandrel afterwards, right? So I'm so excited to craft this deck. I really can't wait. I hope it ends up being a wholesome deck and not a power crept one. I don't think it will be power crept. I think there are too many conditions for it to become power crept. You won't always, you know, get Tork at the value it needs to be. Your units can still be destroyed when it's on your board. And yeah, you won't necessarily draw into all of these cards round one, unlike Tork. You might end up drawing Filavandrel in your third round, or Bountiful Harvest might take up a little bit more provisions than you'd like, because it's 6 provisions. So it's definitely not power crept in my opinion, but it has a lot of potential. Okay guys, this has been the Scoia'tael part of the expansion. I'm very excited to see these cards in play. So far, I'm very happy with the way CDPR is bringing out this part of the expansion. It will be interesting to see how the future meta plays out. But for now, we can only guess, we can theory craft, and yeah, we can keep on bringing out some more videos regarding the cards. I hope you guys have a nice week, and I will see you very soon.